Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Gem Holographic, the 80s icon of drag, and today I have part 2 to my Drag Race Season 17 recap. In this video, we will be going over the last 2 competitive episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17 and the finale of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, where we will be finding out the winner! It's showtime, Synergy! Alright you guys, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the video, I just wanted to say that I am recording this video on my birthday! Woo! Thank you to everybody who has wished me a happy birthday on my socials and here on YouTube. It really does mean a lot to me. Alright you guys, and I would just like to thank those of you who have graciously tipped me on Venmo. Thank you to Dottie and Christopher L. Thank you so much. It really does warm my heart that you guys would tip me on Venmo. If you would like to tip me on Venmo, my Venmo information will be right here and also in the description box down below. All right, you guys, picking up where we left off, we have episode 12, I think. And this is the Drag Race Live Challenge. Now, this is not the first time we have seen a RuPaul's Drag Race Live-esque challenge on a regular season of Drag Race. I think the first time we saw it was on season 12. And they decided to bring it back for this episode. Now, there was kind of a lot going on in this episode. We had the photo shoot with RuPaul, and then they had to create kiosk advertisement for like a mall, and then they had to do an interview with Latrice Royale, and then they had to do like a choreographed performance, which we did not see any of the prep for in the entire episode. And a lot of people were really confused about what the actual challenge was and how they kind of determined who went home and who won. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now that the main challenge of this was most importantly the photo shoot with RuPaul and the interview with Latrice. I do think that the kiosk video did play into it, but I don't think that it was as important in deciding who would win and who would go home as mainly the photo shoot with RuPaul. Now, it is unfortunate in this episode we do say goodbye to Susie too, and just to touch on this real quick, I feel like the point where Susie messed up was in the photo shoot with RuPaul. RuPaul asked her, "Do you see yourself performing in RuPaul's Drag Race Live Las Vegas?" And she simply flat out told RuPaul no. And the look on RuPaul's face after she said that, it almost cemented the fact that Susie was not gonna make it into the top 4 of the season. It's almost like when you go on a job interview and the interviewer asks you, what can you bring to the company if we hire you? And you respond with absolutely nothing. And on top of that, I'm gonna be looking for other employment opportunities while I'm on the clock. Did I get the job?
Girl, you're a joke.
So I really think that that is where Susie messed up in this episode. Took her out of the running for the crown. We did get Jules winning this challenge, and I do totally agree with the win. I feel like she was the most photogenic and energetic in the photo shoot challenge. Her interview with Latrice was really raw, kind of real in a way that I don't feel like we've seen from Jules before in the competition. And her kiosk video was the best out of everybody's. We did see Sam Star and Susie Toot lip sync in this episode to Love Child by Diana Ross and the Supremes. And I just have to say that it's one, a perfect lip sync song because everybody knows that RuPaul loves Diana Ross, but also Tracy Ellis Ross, Diana Ross's daughter, was the guest judge for this episode. And can I just say, Tracy, you look so gorgeous in this episode, like chef's kiss.
Absolutely.
As far as the runway category, it was opulent outerwear, which initially upon first viewing, I did not hear outerwear, so I just thought it was supposed to be opulent, so I was confused when everybody was wearing like jackets. My favorite on the runway was Anya's. I really love the African aesthetic of her outfit with the kente cloth patterns and the big bangles and earrings. I just felt like it was a really beautiful runway. My second favorite was Susie's. I love the big coat. I don't exactly remember what kind of coat it is, but I thought it was gorgeous. So episode 13, again, I think, is the Lollapalooza episode, and this is where all of the eliminated queens come back and get to win for the She Already Done Had Hers prize of $50,000. And they did this last season for season 16. And right off the bat, I'm just gonna say that this Lollapalooza felt a little inconsequential. I don't know what it is.
Boring, yawning, sloppy.
Well, actually, I do think I know what it is. There was no live audience in this Lollapalooza, so it just was everybody lip syncing, and there was like no audience to go off of. Also, I just felt like a lot of the song choices in this Lollapalooza was not great. The twist with this Lollapalooza was that you could either pick the song or your partner. Speaking strategically, I feel like the better way is to pick a song that you know you can kill over picking your partner, because if you pick your partner, the partner gets to pick the song. So I feel like it was an interesting twist that added a layer of strategy that we haven't really seen in a Lollapalooza before. Sure, we had, you know, Willow Pill picking Bosco's because she knew that Bosco was going to pick the song that she wanted and she knew she could kill it. That was kind of by chance. So I feel like the added twist of being able to either pick the song or pick your partner was a really good addition to this Lollapalooza. I mean, I think overall, I think everybody did pretty well in the Lollapalooza. We do have Susie 2 winning the Lollapalooza, and I do feel like that it was redemption for her, like kind of going home in the previous episode. I do feel like Corey really kind of messed up in that final lip sync. Her boobs with her hands. So I really do feel like Corey kind of fumbled the bag a little bit with that final lip sync. In her other 2 lip syncs, you could see that the boob part of her leotard was separate, and we were just waiting for her to like do the reveal. And when she did it in the final lip sync, she did it and then she immediately covered up her boobs. Like, I thought we were gonna have like a really cathartic moment where she rips it off and just, you know, the audience was gonna be like a voyeur to this shenanigans with the boobs, but then she just like kind of covered them up like she was embarrassed. It was really confusing. She had all the energy of somebody who just got out of the shower and wrapped themselves up in a towel to go get the newspaper, but when they go outside, the towel drops and the door locks behind them. Like, it was really weird. And of course, like I just said, Susie 2 wins the award for She Already Done Had Hers This, joining Morphine Love Dion as the winner of the Rupaul'S Drag Race Lollapalooza. And honestly, good for you, Susie. You really did do it. It was cutting it close to Corey there, but you really did kind of prove that you can do the thing. Good for you, girl. Congratulations! We do love a first queen. Okay, now on to what you guys are here for, the finale, the grand finale we have on the main stage with a live audience. It is kind of weird to see these finales not being filmed in a theater, but I kind of do understand if they wanted to not have any spoilers why they would do this. But I do miss like the grand feeling of like going to a theater and seeing, you know, the whole thing live. I've never been to a live taping, but seeing it on the episode, watching them back, it's just always makes it feel so much more grand. But I am glad that there is a live audience there at least. I also do miss just kind of picking out all of the past season's queens in the audience. You know, it's always fun to just see their little glow ups here and there and see them just in the audience getting their lawn. So miss that. So like previous seasons, all of the queens had to do an original song, but for this season, instead of having some random singer do it, they had the queens actually record their own vocals, which I thought was interesting because we also didn't get like a girl group challenge in this season. We did have the queens recording their own voices for the musical, but we didn't see that in a girl group setting, so I kind of feel like this is making up for that. I do like that aspect because it adds a lot more personality and individuality to each of the songs. I don't know how much control each of the queens have over the songs. It is cool to see them like exercising their own voice in the songs. Going down the line really quick, we have Jules Sparkles with Ding. Now this was a really weird choice for Jules because watching the performance, she was trying to do this like quirky, campy, like funny thing, which aside from Snatch Game, we didn't know Jules for being this campy, quirky, funny queen. It was kind of off to see her do this like comedic performance. It wasn't a bad performance. The song was funny. I didn't like see this as a way to top off Jules's journey. The next performance, we have Anya Nerve with It Do Take Nerve, and I'm just gonna say this was my favorite performance. Listen, I know that I have been an Anya stan this entire time, and I have no apologies for it. Y'all are just gonna have to deal with it. But Anya's song completely gave me all of the house vibes that I needed. Anya's vocals were the best, and you can really tell that Anya does have control over her voice and can actually sing. So her song was fantastic. Her performance was great. And this is something that I feel like foreshadows the final lip sync, where Anya's performance was solely performance based. She did have, you know, that reveal. It wasn't really a reveal. She just kind of like stepped out of the dress and she had a bodysuit underneath. Gorgeous dress, gorgeous bodysuit, but her performance was mainly focused on the actual performance and connecting to the song. And I just feel like that is foreshadowing for what's to come. Next we have Lexi Love with her song. I think it's called It's a Classic. It was a roller skating performance, which we saw Lexi do in the talent show. It is impressive to see a queen roller skating, but in my opinion, like watching it back and taking notes, it seemed like Lexi was more focused on not falling, which, I mean, I get it. You know, if you're not very proficient in roller skating, you might be a little shaky. But I could tell that took away from her performance just a little bit. It wasn't a bad performance at all, and the song was pretty good. It just, I could tell that Lexi's focus was on not falling and really performing. It was still a great performance, but that's just something that I noticed. We then have Sam Starr's song, and I'm just gonna come out and say, like, it's a very forgettable song. Like, again, I don't know how much control these queens have over these songs. It was very forgettable. And the actual performance itself, kind of like with her talent show performance, it wasn't emblematic of her journey throughout the competition. I will say that the dress turning into a red carpet was sickening though. We then have Miss Congeniality. We have, from last season, we have Tsunami Muse and Safira Cristal coming out to present Miss Congeniality, and the winner is Crystal Envy. Congrats, Crystal Envy. I will say though, aside from, you know, Crystal, I think deserving to win Miss Congeniality, I do just wish that they actually showed us the nice aspect that Jules had mentioned in the Roscoe's recap, that she was really nice and she left gifts for everybody. I do kind of wish that the edit showed that to us a little bit more. Congrats, Crystal.
Trend alert!
I just wanted to pop in here real quick and say that I noticed a trend in this finale with high collars, Elizabethan collars, if you will. I might be delusional, but what else would you expect from somebody as gorgeous as myself? But I did it first. I did this last year. This is a look that I created for the Dripping in Diamonds challenge for Mary's Best at Hamburger Mary's West Hollywood. So I thought I would just show this look because honestly, it's one of my most favorite looks that I've ever created. And, you know, give me my flowers for starting trends and not getting any of the credit. All right, thanks.
So, after all of the individual performances and the Miss Congeniality is chosen, we have all 4 queens on the main stage, and we're ready to pick the top 2. And the top 2 of the season turns out to be Jewel Sparkles and Anya Nerve. I do like how Lexi kind of did all of her reveals on the main stage on her way out. I would want to see her perform the song in that outfit. So hopefully she does end up doing it because I would like to see how she would approach it. And what I find funny as well is that Sam Starr walked out with her hand behind her back holding her reveal together, which, girl, we don't do that. Why were you doing that? I do kind of wish that she had just done the reveal on the main stage like Lexi did, but c'est la vie. And the top 2 lip sync to Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, and I think that this is a really good song to lip sync to. Not only because the song is really hot right now, but it is like a high energy like dance number. So I was really interested to see how both queens would approach the song. Now I will say that Jules had some very obvious reveals, and just speaking solely on the performance aspect of the final lip sync, I feel like Anya Nerve connected with the song on a deeper level than Jules did. I feel like from the moment that the music started, like Anya was really locked in. We have seen from her runways and her other lip sync and performances on the season that she's very expressive with her face, and she was really giving me like kind of like the avant-garde Grace Jones Little Monster, like very Gaga-esque performance in the song. And that's why I feel like in that aspect she definitely outperformed Jules, because you could see in the performance watching it back that Jules was super focused in on reveal, and then in the second half of the number it was performance. Whereas at that point Anya Nerve had already like kind of locked her teeth into the audience. The performance was fun, it was quirky, it was weird, you know, and I just feel like that's emblematic of Anya as a performer. She's a fantastic performer. She really connects with the songs, and that's why I feel like she outperformed Jules in this number. Now, I will say that I have seen a lot of discourse online because there's been somewhat of a confusion. The show has set up a tradition where the people who have won these lip syncs for the crown have done the most stunts, like kind of on average. I know that, you know, Aquaria really didn't have a lot of stunts in her final lip sync, just as an example. But the show kind of set up this trend where if you had, you know, a lot of stunts and reveals, and that always riles up the audience, that they kind of reward that with the win. So to have all of a sudden in this season a queen who did no stunts, no reveals, just a straight dance performance in the final lip sync to win the season, I can understand why people are confused that the show is seemingly contradicting its own tradition that it created. However, Anya had an immaculate run during the competition and she had a great final performance. It just lacked the stunts and the reveals. So the question is, does that make it a lesser performance? And no, it doesn't. Anya's performance was great, and I like to draw the comparison in season 12 when we had Jan versus Widow Von Du in the lip sync to This Is My Night by Shaka Khan. Jan gave a great performance, and she didn't lose the lip sync necessarily, she just didn't win over Widow Von Du. And I feel like that is the same thing that happened here in this final lip sync. She didn't lose, she just didn't win. And that's something that honestly you can be very proud of, and I feel like Jules should be very proud of that fact. So with that being said, we have the winner of season 17, Anya Nerve. Congrats, Anya. Like I said, she had an immaculate run throughout the season, and her performances in both her original song and the final lip sync were fantastic. She definitely had me scared a little bit because I was getting flashbacks to last season with Saphira Crystal, who, in my opinion, I wanted to win last season. Not to take anything away from Nymphia Wind, I think that she had a great run on her season as well, but I am glad that Anya did win the season. I really connected with her story and her drag, so it was really good to just kind of see my girl win. I have seen some criticism online and also just my own personal opinions on the matter that a lot of these queens that come on the show have a very similar performance styles. It's very reliant on stunts and reveals, and I feel like with Anya winning this final lip sync without doing any stunts or reveals, I feel like this is going to usher in a new wave of performances on the show where queens are less reliant on stunts and splits and more focused on connecting to the song and having a more interpersonal performance to the song, so that way the audience can kind of connect with them on that level. Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed our part 2 of our RuPaul's Drag Race season 17 recap. All Stars 10 was just announced, and you guessed it, I'm gonna be doing some recaps. If you guys would like to see me recap All Stars 10, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any one of my new uploads. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on the seasons. Do you have a differing opinion than me? Remember, be respectful in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think, so leave me a comment. And if you find it in your heart to tip a drag queen in need, my Venmo information will be right here and also in the description. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any one of my new uploads. And if you'd like to follow me on my socials, they will appear right here. And as always, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be bold, be beautiful, be truly, truly, truly outrageous, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.